tip this one off. This is year 2 of the commitment. We hope they continue this, and the tip goes out of bounds, and they will re-jump it once again. The Chanel Firebirds will be in the home whites, the Bearcats of Bedford in the road greens. And the reason for that, Joe has alluded to, he mentioned to me before the game, the Chanel road jerseys haven't come in yet.
Everybody wearing new uniforms tonight. The Bearcats featuring their new uniforms, as are the Firebirds.
That ball headed into the forecourt. It's going to
to Donzel Moore there. That's a reverse of what we saw the whole football season. The quarterback taking the pass from the tight end right there.
Chanel now working the forecourt, 2-0 Bedford lead. 30 seconds gone here in the opening period, almost the turnover. Bedford showing a lot of great quickness on the defensive end of the floor, and they caused the turnover. As looking at the referee, Joe Lattis is taking a look and saying, hey, ref, I never touched it, but I think he did.
Joe Lattis will have a big size advantage over Skylar Constant. The way Everett Hurd puts it, though, is he may play bigger guys in the middle than himself, but nobody will be stronger in the middle than Skylar Constant.
Brandon Pitts losing the handle on it into the painted area. Down the floor come the Firebirds. They stop, put it underneath, up and in. That's Steve Martin with the first 2. We're tied at 2 at the 7-minute mark of the first period.
And a quick turnover.
The Firebirds to inbound in front of the Bedford bench. Last year this game was just at a record pace, very quick, and Joe and I needed oxygen by the end of that game. There's a big stop, right to the hole. Steve Martin with his 4th, and he really put that baby home, and he's got the Chanel fans going wild.
Good, strong move there by Steve Martin to the hole. Threw it down, and it's enough that Everett Hurd brings the ball club over to the bench to have a word with him.
And the technical foul call for the celebration. And Bedford will be at the free throw line, shooting 2 on the technical. Jason Thompson. Sorry, Joe, he hits the iron with that one.
Jason Thompson, the offensive leader, as we mentioned in the open for the Bearcats. The offense will run through him all night and misses a pair.
And very unusual for Jason. Although it's early in the ball game, he may not have warmed up as of yet. That dunk by Steve Martin and the subsequent technical foul makes the score 4-2 for Chanel as the Bearcats take it into the forecourt. And we're going to have a foul, and it's going to go against Martin. If that is, it's his 2nd.
Reaching fall there on Steve Martin.
It's 2 big personal fouls on him in the first minute and 18 seconds. And he will come to the bench immediately as he's replaced by John White. Bedford inbound. Thompson to the lane, passes off now on the left side. Donzel Moore sends it back up top to Constant. Man-to-man defense here by the Firebirds. Thompson at the free throw line, hits the back of the iron. Offensive rebound, put back up. No good.
Brandon Pitts inside with a nice, strong rebound there. The 2 guard for the Bearcats really attacking the boards, and that's going to be important early on. You mentioned the man-to-man defense for Chanel. A little bit of a surprise early in the game.
Yeah, the foul a moment ago is on Joe Lattis. That's his first, team 3rd. And a look at Brandon Pitts. Left-handed free throw is up and in for Brandon tonight. Brandon coming off a 9-point performance in the 56-40 win over Brush the other night. Missed the 2nd, rims it out. And Big Lattis is in there to pull down the rebound.
One of the keys Everett Hurd mentioned when he talked about this season was he felt like the one thing the Bearcats did not do well as a team last year was shoot free throws. And the way we started tonight, we have to work on that. 1 for 4 from the line early on for the Bearcats.
Donzel Moore's whistle for his first personal foul. At the free throw line will be James Crockett for Chanel. In tonight's game, a sellout. They posted the sold-out signs. They're turning fans away once again here from the Shipley Gymnasium. And a look at Mr. Crockett at the line. He gets 2 free throws, trying to extend a 4-3 Chanel lead. And he's way off the mark with that one.
James Crockett last year averaged 7 points, 8 rebounds for the Firebirds. This team returns 3 all-North Coast League performers. They're expected to have a strong season this year, looking to battle St. Joe's for dominance on that side of town.
Crockett splits the pair. He has 1 for the game. It's a 5-3 lead now for the Firebirds. And if you're joining us, we are at Bedford High School. The Bearcats wearing the road greens tonight. The shot is off the mark. Lattice throws the ball down the floor, off the glass. No, but the tip is there, but we do have a whistle. And I think before the bucket, they're going to call a foul. And that's going to be the second foul on Donzel Moore. Well, Coach Hurd now may have to go to the bench as well. Only we played 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And there's Jamil Rippey. And Jamil...
both teams struggling a little bit from the free throw line here.
Looking to split the pair. And that one's off the iron, no good. Lattice with the rebound, throws it back up off the iron, no good, and Thompson pulls down the ball for Bedford.
Good rebound there by Jason Thompson. Joe Lattice had position caused by his size, and Jason Thompson just worked to get that rebound.
Osby with a nice move to the hole as the lane was cleared out for him by Skylar Constant. He draws the foul and will shoot 2.
Lots of early fouls in this ball game.
James Crockett whistled for his first, team 4th, and here's Charles Osby at the line for 2 shots. On the iron, no good. Well, another miss for the Bearcats here in the early going. And on the floor now for Bedford will be number 41. That's Brandon Smith. Osby looking to get the Cats back to within 1 on the back of the iron, no good, and the rebound is pulled down by Crockett.
1 for 6 now for the Bearcats from the free throw line.
Nice drive, but the shot is up and in. James Crockett with his 3rd point of the ball game and a 7-3 Chanel lead. This is exactly how last year's game started off. Chanel hanging with Bedford in the first period. Then the last 3 quarters went the way of the Bearcats. There's another turnover as Constant has his pocket pick. Nick Russo's on the floor now for Chanel. Long bomb. A lot of contact, but no call as John White misses the 3 ball. And Osby now into the forecourt off to the left side. Constant now brings it back. Osby on the weak side. For the 3. It's on the way. Around the rim and in. That's Brandon Pitts. They do give that 3, and it's 7-6. Lattice with the drive. Hard to the glass. He hits it, and he's fouled.
Good strong move there by Joe Lattice. Used his size as an advantage over Skylar Constant, and in that particular situation was able to outmuscle Skylar. Anthony Lumpkin on for the Bearcats, replacing Charles Osby. And Alfred Wilson on for the Firebirds, together with number 3, Nick Russo.
Here's the big guy, Lattice, for the 3-point play, and he hits it. Lattice with 3 in the period. It's 10-6 for the Firebirds. Very vocal student section behind the Chanel bench. Bedford slowing it up. One of the rare slow moments to this game. There's a nice drive to the bucket and the score by Jason Thompson. Good to get him into the ball game.
Strong move by Jason Thompson to get into the book there. Again, the offense is going to run generally through Jason, so it's good to get a mark in the book for him.
10-8, and they're going to call the walk.
Good defense there by Skylar Constant. Everett Hurd has always believed that the Bearcat team, everything starts and ends with strong defense, and there's a good example right there.
So the Bearcats coming down this floor with a chance to tie the score, trailing 10-8, 3:48 to go in the opening period. Watching BCS television coverage of Bearcat basketball, Andy Septic with my colleague Joe Alley. Off the left wing, the long bomb is no good. Lattice pulls down the rebound. That's a good battle between him and Constant tonight. Over to Lattice now, puts the shoulder down. The long three, ball is up and in. That's John White with his first score of the night. 3 for John, and it's 13-8 Chanel.
5-point Chanel lead. Interesting that a lot of fouls being called here, but they're letting the big guys play. As you mentioned, Joe Lattice kind of put the shoulder down.
What a rebound, and Thompson couldn't hang on to it. Nearly came up with a sensational work on the offensive glass. And checking in for Chanel once again is Brendan Coyne, number 5. And we have really seen some athleticism here in the first 5 minutes of this ball game tonight. And St. Peter Chanel and the Bedford Bearcats tonight. There's the shot by Lattice. It's no good. Tipped away and pulled down by Thompson. Thompson going to take it to the hole. He's got the foul, and no bucket. He'll call it in. They
called it on the floor.
So it'll be off to the sidelines where Bedford will inbound underneath their hoop.
Jason Thompson trying to make something happen in that possession, pushing the ball up the floor, trying to get the Bearcats some points in transition.
Lobbed out toward Skylar Constant, who puts it up and hands it now to Anthony Lumpkin. Cross court they go. Bedford trying to run the offense along the baseline. A good man-to-man coverage here by Chanel. Loose ball, Constant can't save it in the corner, and the ball goes over to the Firebirds.
Looked like Skylar didn't expect that pass and couldn't get the handle on it right there, and it results in the turnover. Possession to the Firebirds, a chance to build on this 5-point lead they have here with 2.5 left in the first quarter.
Charles Osby returns to the floor for Bedford, number 12. After the great football season the kids had here at Bedford, it's hard to get football out of the mind here, but it's basketball season, and that ball, good defense, gets the turnover. And it was a long season here for football.
It was a nice season for the Bearcats. Matter of fact, 2 of the guys here on the Bearcat basketball team, first team All-State Division II, Skylar Constant as a defensive end and Donzel Moore as a defensive back. So kudos to that team. Roger Saffold, who's also on the basketball team, was honorable mention, Division II All-State. So nice season for those kids. Lost in Talmadge in the first round, but actually gave Talmadge a very nice football game.
Now the Bearcats are on the hardwood right now, trying to drive. Fans want the call. Constant drives, and he gets called for the walk.
Good strong move there by Skylar. Just needed to put the ball on the floor.
1:50 to go in the opening period. It's been Chanel leading throughout. They lead 13-8. Off on the wing, Coyne. That ball is into the stands. And it'll be Chanel basketball. And we hope to have another ball game or two for you here on BCS TV. And our congratulations tonight to a JV play earlier. Bedford defeated Chanel 53-48. And the girls today coming up with a big win at Shaw, 99-60.
Earlier this afternoon, that brings the Lady Bearcats to 2-0. Good start for Pat Griffiths' Lady Bearcats.
And to look at our vantage point here, we've got probably the only seat that we could come up with. This place is packed tonight, and we're in the corner. Nice drive on the baseline there by Crockett. And a whistle to put the ball out of bounds to Bedford.
Bearcats picking up the defensive intensity a little bit here late in the first quarter, and that is really necessary because the Firebirds not shy this season, Andy, taking the ball to the hole, not afraid to take it inside on Bedford.
And some sad-looking Bedford fans there. They have really got to get behind the kids. Thompson with the pass. The 3 ball is on the way, and it's no good by Lumpkin. Offensive rebound, and we almost have ourselves a souvenir. So into the game for Chanel will be number 23, Alex Zeleny once again. And for the Bearcats, Robert Johnson on the floor, number 32. The pace is a bit slower, Joe, than I would have anticipated.
I agree with that. Robert Johnson, a freshman who Everett Hurd says is the best freshman basketball player at Bedford since he's been here.
He's got a great contingent. Look at that pass from Thompson to the bucket. What a grab. Lumpkin scores. It's his first 2, but Thompson with a LeBron James effort there, boy, to save that one, and he makes a pretty assist. Too bad they can't give him 1 for the assist.
Good defense there by Brandon Pitts results in the turnover. Bearcats a chance to cut into the lead again.
30 seconds left in the quarter, 13-10. Into the painted area. Thompson, no good.
Good left-handed move by Jason, comes up a little bit long.
Knocked away momentarily. Chanel regains and give it off on the wing to Zeleny. He'll drive to the hole, puts it up, no good. 13 seconds left. Here comes Bedford, runs the floor, up off the glass, no good. Thompson with 6 seconds and a foul. Lumpkin had a good look at it, Joe, and couldn't find the cylinder, and then there's Thompson again on the glass. And there was that great save a moment ago. And folks, they don't get any better than that.
Yeah, that was a world-class pass there by Jason Thompson to Anthony Lumpkin. This time down the floor, it looked like Anthony kind of looked at the defense trailing the play, took his eye off the rim, resulting in the missed shot. Bearcats have 6 seconds to get it up and in here at the end of the first quarter.
And Zeleny was called for the foul. Up top of the circle they go now. Pitts off the wing for the long bomb ball's no good. The buzzer sounds. The first quarter is over. And a tough, hard-fought first period here from Bedford High School. And after 1, the score. It is St. Peter Chanel 13, Bedford 10. Quarter in the books, 13-10 Chanel. We get ready to start the second period. Joe, some thoughts on quarter number 1?
Well, I would say that St. Peter Chanel has to be thrilled with the way the first quarter went. They played good defense. They attacked the basket. They scored a lot of points. Bedford cold from the floor. Turned up the defensive intensity there at the end of the quarter. But St. Peter Chanel got to be feeling pretty good about themselves here with 1 quarter in the books.
Oh, you mentioned one thing that hurt. Bedford was 1 of 6 from the free throw line in the first period. And that's not going to get it done.
Here's one of the changes in high school basketball here. Player control foul, not free throws this year in the one-on-one.
Skylar Constant being counted. Now they get it to Osby looking on the inside. Constant drives and scores. Skylar Constant with his first 2, and at 13-12. Chanel's lead, once 5, is now 1. And balanced scoring throughout the first period. Pitts leading the way for Bedford. Bedford with 4, and Mark with 4 for Chanel through 1 quarter.
Tough man-to-man defense now for the Bearcats. Skylar Constant trying to make life difficult for Joe Lattis there, but draws the foul.
Oh, for Skylar Constant, that'll be foul number 2 in the books. And then you saw the effort to go from Skylar to the hoop just a moment ago to get his first bucket of the evening. Hey, this Lattis kid, he's about as big as a full offensive line in football. That is a tough hombre to get out of the painted area.
He is a big young man.
He'll shoot 2 with a 1-point Chanel lead, puts it up off the front of the iron, no good.
Looks like they might have given that foul to number 32 for the Bearcats. That's Robert Johnson.
That'll be a break. Puts the second one up, no good, and we have a whistle. And Robert Johnson gets called for a second foul. So 2 quick fouls for Johnson.
Actually, I think they call that one on Jamal Rippey.
That is correct.
For the Firebirds. So his second foul.
And the young man has been quiet, Rippey. He has no points through 1 period. Has rarely touched the ball. There's a nice drive to the lane, and it's Constant picking up the loose ball. Puts it up to the glass, and he scores.
Strong move there by Skylar Constant. The Bearcats back up on top for just the second time in this ballgame.
14-13, Bedford. Up the top of the lane. Wilson throws it off on the left side. Now back into the painted area. That's Lattis. Puts it right up in the hole and scores. Joe Lattis with his 5th, and Joe don't have to go that high to get to the rim.
Now it's a finger roll from where he's at when he does that. I wonder if Everett Hurd and the coaching staff will make an adjustment to double team down there low when that ball gets inside. Good move there by the freshman Robert Johnson to put the Bearcats back up on top. 8-2 run now for Bedford.
16-15 on the scoreboard for the Bearcats to drive. And what is the call? It's going to be an offensive foul, and it's going to go against John White.
Noticeable difference. Last couple minutes of the first quarter, first couple minutes of the second quarter, and the defensive intensity for Bedford. And in fact, that's resulted, as I said a little bit earlier, in an 8-2 run for Bedford. It'll be interesting to see, because you mentioned earlier that the first quarter was not a whole lot different than last year in this game. It was the second quarter when Bedford ran away from Chanel. It'll be interesting to see how the Firebirds react to this little mini run by the Bearcats.
Yeah, that definitely was a difference last year. Bedford asserted themselves. They got their shooting touch in order, and they ran the floor to reckless abandon in the blowout over Chanel last year. And we're at that point now with 6 minutes to go, and they have Bedford with the 1-point lead. There's some tenacious pressure by Coyne. Constant going to drive off the glass, no good with a strong move. And there's Lattis for the rebound. He throws it away. Hits, and he gets called for a double dribble.
Tried to cross over and carried it just a little bit. When the Cavs play a little bit later tonight, they'll be able to do that. In the NBA, they get away with that carry. Here at the high school level, it gets called.
And you see right there's the call.
Offensive strategy, it looks like right now for Bedford, is to get the ball inside with Skylar, let him use his strength against Joe Lattis, and see if Lattis can cover Constant.
It's a good man-to-man pressure here from the Bearcats. They throw to the back door, and it is no good. Out of bounds it goes. They were looking to the back door for Alfred Wilson.
Zeleny talking to the official and saying that the defense is a little bit too close on me. Can we get a call here?
Yeah, there have been a lot of calls, a lot of foul. There's a shove in the back. And that foul's going to go on Eric Zeleny. And he got his money's worth on that one, as we'll watch it here. There comes a little shiver there in the lower back. 10th team foul here in the half on St. Peter Chanel.
Bedford with an opportunity at the free throw line now to score some points. 1 for 6, as we mentioned, to this point in the ballgame.
Charles Osby tonight 0 for 2 unofficially from the line. Finds the front of the iron, no good, 0 for 3.
Anthony Lumpkin now in for Brandon Pitts for the Bearcats. At the 2 guard, Lumpkin the gunslinger, Pitts the slasher. Different style. Coach Hurd likes to use both of them in different situations.
Osby trying to split the parry, puts a lot onto that, and it finds the cylinder. 1 now for Charles, and it's 17-15.
2 for 8 now for the Bearcats from the line. 25% is not going to get the job done.
Chanel finding some tough Bedford defense. Nearly the palm ball. The spinorama's up and in. Joe Lattice with 7. And that's the kid's going to keep Chanel close as Lattice. Constant on the inside, no good. And we're going to have a jump ball. And the arrow favors the Bearcats.
Probably the 4th or 5th time out of 6 or 7 trips down the floor that the ball kicked inside to Skylar Constant. There you see Skylar getting after the offensive board right there, and resulting in the held ball, which will go to Bedford.
The Bearcats working the perimeter again. 17-17 tie. They turn it over. Down the floor, that's stripped. Here comes Lumpkin. No look pass. In the painted area, contact, no call. Nice pass.
Throwdown. Jason Thompson with the throwdown right there.
Well, in the quick hands of Matt Smith, too, coming up with some big plays. It's 19-17 for the Bearcats.
Anthony Lumpkin a little bit tight there on the defense.
Here's the play a moment ago. They got the Bedford crowd up on their feet. Nice pass to Thompson and the exclamation point.
Charles Osby kept that ball alive and kicked it inside to Jason, who threw it down.
Boyne holds the ball now as he dribbles with the left hand at the three-point line. He pops and he missed it. And the rebound is down to Charles Osby into the forecourt. Bedford running the floor, lost the handle on it. Boyne picks it up, get it to Lattice. Boy, the big guy can drive too. Here he goes, ball on the floor, and we have a whistle. And before the shot, we're going to call the foul against Bedford.
Should be on the floor right there. 16 foul on the Bearcats. They're not yet in the bonus. Chanel with 10 team fouls, now in the double bonus, with 4.5 left in the second quarter.
Been a terrific tilt for the opening telecast on BCS TV. And we're glad you could join us.
Tight man-to-man defense now. Actually, it looks like they've dropped back into the zone.
There's one from downtown that they hit. Nick Russo with a 3-ball, and he gives St. Peter Chanel the lead, 20-19. Smith takes it to the hole, and he can't get it to go. Back the other way, Chanel into the forecourt, on the baseline, lost the handle, and they turn it over.
It's pretty obvious, it seems to me, Andy, that Bedford believes that while Joe Lattice is a pretty good offensive player, he's a little weak defensively, and they keep going inside, and he hasn't really, to this point, reacted very well to that. So I expect to see the Bearcats continuing to do that and trying to score on the inside.
Bedford over the timeline now, working the forecourt. Landis, though, with only 1 foul in the books by my sheet. The 3-ball is on the way by Osby, and he hits it. Osby with his 4th, and it's 22-20 now for the Bearcats.
Tight defense there. Going to get called for the push.
Matt Smith called for his 2nd foul. And in fact, Nick Russo was getting a bit perturbed. He caught a finger in the right, it looked to be in the lip, in the backcourt, took it into the forecourt, and then took a seat and drew the foul. And he's still looking at that mouth area. And this will be the 1-1 now for Nick Russo, as that's 17 fouls against the Bearcats.
one of those interesting things. We have 3:20 left in the half. We haven't had a timeout called yet.
Not yet.
The coaches and the officials letting them play a little bit here at Shipley Gymnasium.
And Nick Russo earns the bonus ball with his 4th point of the night. 22-21 the score. There's a look at the Chanel student body. Literally. And to tie the score, Russo with the second is off the iron, no good. And there's Thompson way up there on the glass.
I think the shirt spelled Bernie's Crew in reference to Coach Bernie Tarr there for the Firebirds.
Basketball-rich tradition at Chanel High School. They've had some great football teams as well over the years.
When Jeff Rotsky was at Maple, they made a couple of runs at the state championship and in fact won one, I believe.
Thompson on the inbound pass, high up in the air, and he scores.
Nice
Jason.
body control by Jason Thompson right there. They were looking to draw the offensive foul, but Jason controlled the body and went strong to the hole and scored the goal. And then the offensive foul on Chanel.
There's the bucket by Thompson. Strong move, and then you're right, Russo pushing off on the inbounds pass. And it's going to be 2 free throws here for Matt Smith. Matt looking for his first points in the game. Bedford leading 24-21. 3 minutes to go in the half. That one rings its way out. And the free throw woes of the Bearcats continue here in the first half. Second one rims out, the touch is up and in.
Skylar Constant there with the tip in.
6 now for Skylar, back the other way. A 3 ball is no good. Lattis follows, no good. He's down in the paint, and the bucket goes up and in by Alfred Wilson for his first 2. 26-23 Bedford.
A surprising no call down there in the paint. 3 bodies down on the floor and no call. I don't know what it would have been, but it's surprising that there was nothing there.
Drive on the baseline, it's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by the Bearcats. And where Matt Smith was going with that last drive, I have no idea. Now they changed the call around. I think that's the good call.
Since it was 13-8, Bearcats 18-10 run.
There's the effort a moment ago on the big mess. They did get the call right. I thought Lattis was the last one to touch it. They get it into Thompson. Thompson on the baseline, the fadeaway off the iron, no good. And we've got another whistle on a stoppage, and this one's going to go against Bedford.
Looks like Skylar Constant going to get the call right there. That'll be his second.
And that gets my extra straightened out with him at the table. 2 fouls now is checking into the ball game. Robert Johnson, the freshman. And for the 1-and-1 for Chanel, John White. 3 points on the ball game. Missed it. And Thompson again with another big rebound defensively.
The young man can definitely jump.
He is an amazing talent to watch here. A lot of great athletes on the floor tonight on both squads. A terrific basketball treat here on BCS TV, and the shot missed by Smith.
Good move by Matt Smith, but it rolled off the iron.
He had some bad luck tonight. Now Lattis on the inside with the touch, he scores. Lattis with 9, and it's 26-25 for Bedford. There's a nice move to the hole. Lattis rejects him. Loose ball again on the floor. Lattis gets called for the walk.
Good block there by Joe Lattis. One too many times maybe inside for Bedford. And then he definitely carried the ball there. Good call by the officials.
Took a heck of a walk. He could have walked this way probably to Parma from here with that many steps. 1:33 left in the half. 1 point Bedford lead. Anthony Lumpkin's got the baseline open. He threw it back up top where it was tipped. And then Bedford throws it away again. Oh, it's stripped. On the line, up and in. It's Osby with his 6th.
Little sloppy offensively with the ball, but really playing strong defense, the Bearcats, since about 2 minutes left in the first quarter.
Minute to go, and we're going to have a blocking call. That's a proper call there. The man was not set defensively.
That's Jason Thompson going to draw that foul.
And in my books, that'll be his 2nd unofficially.
There's a good shot right there of Anthony Lumpkin, keeping the ball alive, kicking it over to Osby, who went up and laid it in for the last Bearcat basket.
Now this year, though, Chanel was hanging with Bedford in the second period, Joe, with a minute to go. 28-25, Bedford lead. And if you're the Firebirds, you got to be happy with that, as you really faced a lot of pressure in this period. The first of the 2 free throws is up and in by John White. 4 for White.
For me tonight, the impressive thing is the Firebird defense. They aren't allowing the Bearcats to get anything at all in the half court. In transition, Bedford's putting some points on the board, but in the half court, Bedford is really kind of struggling to put points on the scoreboard.
White with his 5th. It's 28-27 with 1 minute left in the half.
The other thing that Bernie Tarr has to be really happy about is he's got Jamal Rippey and Steve Martin on the bench. Steve Martin since early in the first quarter, and they're weathering the storm here.
Now the Bearcats, their guard play has been tough. They've really hounded the ball handlers for Bedford, almost causing another turnover. Anthony Lumpkin, they throw it on the inside. There's a nice head fake. Jump shot by Johnson. The pressure's no good. On the inside, blocked away, picked up now here, running the floor is Russo. Russo into the forecourt. Well, he nearly dribbled himself out of trouble, and he did. He gets called for the walk.
Russo actually, I think, gave up a potential drive on that. I think he had a free lane to the basket and kind of pulled it out on the three-point arc and caused himself some problems. I think if he'd have went right down the floor, he'd have probably got an easy layup for a basket.
Joe, I agree with you. I don't understand his thinking. And then, boy, when he pulled that ball back, he was all confused. Thompson on the baseline with the hook shot off the iron, no good. And Chanel's got 12 seconds here in the half to try to regain the lead. There's the 3 ball on the way off the mark, no good by Coyne. Saved with 2 seconds on the iron, no good, and the buzzer sounds to end the first half. And a terrific tilt it's been here on BCS television in the season opener for the Chanel Firebirds and the home opener for the Bedford Bearcats. The halftime score, Bedford 28, St. Peter Chanel 27. Joe and I will be back with the second half right after this. And we're underway with the second half of this one tonight on BCS TV. The Chanel Firebirds, Bedford Bearcats, 28-27 as we start quarter 3. And Joe, it's been a pretty darn good first half, but a lot of mistakes.
A lot of mistakes, little ragged. It looks like an early game. You mentioned earlier, before we came on the air, that the Bearcats are in a back-to-back. They had Brush last night. This is the first game for the Firebirds. So we might have a little bit of a tired leg situation with Bedford. A little bit careless with the basketball, but still, both teams really playing very good defense in the first half.
There's a young man, Skylar Constant, on the right wing. I thought he's played a terrific game, battling all night against Joe Lattis. There's a drive to the hole, and there's an offensive foul. And that looks to be Charles Osby called for the foul.
We mentioned Steve Martin and Jamal Rippey with their 2 fouls each. Didn't mention the fact that the Bearcats had Skylar Constant and Don Zellmore down for a lot of the first half with 2 fouls for each of them. So everybody back at full strength here to start the second half.
Oh, nice give and go off the glass, though the shot is missed. Offensive rebound put back up the bottom of the backboard, and they score. That's Steve Martin. He's got 6 points for the night. That's 29-28 now for Chanel. And there's the big man making the play. Joe Lattis. Joe and I talked at halftime. Joe doesn't have to do too much in the painted area defensively with that height. There's a shot that's missed, no good. Now Constant gives to Thompson down the floor to Pitts. 3 ball, no, they thought about it. Moore's going to drive instead. Now back the other way for 3. Off the iron, no good. Constant with the rebound, spinning. Puts the shot up, and he had to put a high arcer up, and it's no good. Martin down the floor. The pass ahead of the pack, no good. Offensive glass. There he is. Lattis around the ribbon, and he's fouled.
Last trip down the floor for the Bearcats, I thought Jason Thompson had a good inside look and gave it up to Donzel Moore out on the wing. Passed up a good opportunity and a little bit of a 4-0 run here for Chanel to start the half, and we have our first time out of the ball game.
6:24 to go in the third period. 31-28 for Chanel. And we remember last year's game, it was all Bedford after the start of the second period. Chanel has done a wonderful job hanging with them. And now they assert themselves coming out of the gate here with a 4-0 run, as Joe mentioned. They're looking to go 5-0 here now with the free throw. And I think if you're Coach Bernie Trail, Bernie Tarr, you got to be excited with the way the kids have come out of the gate to start the second half.
Absolutely.
And, you know, you mentioned, Joe, about the tired legs. That definitely is affecting Bedford at the free throw line. Their shooting there tonight has been terrible. And here's Joe Lattis putting the bonus ball no good, and Skylar Constant with another rebound.
We mentioned Skylar, Division II All-State in football. A bunch of Division I college offers going Skylar's way to play defensive end at the collegiate big-time level.
Good for him. I tell you, I've always been impressed with his play, even last season on the basketball court as well. And I know, again, the kids on the football field getting into the state playoffs in a tough area as well, that Division II playoff.
Skylar's biggest problem is picking which one he's going to go play for.
Anybody in particular he's been looking at?
A lot of MAC interest in Skylar, a little bit of Big Ten. He's actually going on some visits next week. Mostly MAC schools are in his offing. Roger Saffold, our backup center on the basketball team, not here tonight, visiting Big Ten schools this weekend.
Wow. All the way down the floor, the left-hander by Seleni is good. And Eric Seleni with his first 2, and 33-30 the score. There's the drive to the hole, the shot no good, loose at center court. Down the floor comes Chanel the dunk. Steve Martin with his second hammer of the night. He's got 8, and it's 35-30 for St. Peter Chanel.
Bedford a little careless with the basketball, and it's resulting in runouts for Chanel.
Jason Thompson can't hit. Martin again. Oh, and he got nailed going to the hoop.
Charles Osby strongly defending that play there, not letting the throwdown happen twice in a row down the floor. Start the second half here, 8-2 in favor of the Firebirds. So a good run to start the half. Bedford not really getting into their offense when they have the basketball, taking quick shots and they're not going in. Again, that could be the tired legs, not getting really good looks, and Chanel really in control of the ball game right now.
Martin puts the first one up and in. Steve Martin tonight now with 9 for the ball game. Anthony Lumpkin now on the floor for Bedford, number 30. Everett Hurd trying to change the scheme of things out here on the floor. Martin missed the second. 36-30 Chanel with their biggest lead of the night at 6. Osby into the fourth quarter on the wing now to Lumpkin. They throw that ball behind a cutting Jason Thompson. And that turnover gives it back to Chanel.
Jason Thompson looking to go inside. Donzel Moore swinging it out to him on there on the wing, and he just wasn't home. Nobody home there, resulting in turnover.
And we invite you to stay with us at the end of the ball game. Joe Alley will have our player of the game here to the table.
The way things are going right now, I'm going to need a ladder to talk to Joe Lattice.
There's a strong move to the hole, and it's no good by Crockett. The stop, the pop will not go, and the rebound is pulled down by Martin as Lumpkin finds the rim, and then off it went. The little hook shot finds the cylinder and ends. Steve Martin with his 11th. This kid's having a great third period. He's got 7 points here in the quarter, and it's 38-30 for Chanel.
11-2 now on the Chanel Firebird run to start the second half. Only 2 points for Bedford halfway through the quarter.
And that's a drought that the Bearcats did not suffer at all in the game last year. There's a look at Skylar Constant. He's had his hands full with Lattice tonight. He's done an admirable job. Last year, these teams met in the first of a 2-year deal, and there's a contact on Skylar Constant. Not too happy with the call, but he'll be called nonetheless.
Skylar chasing down the loose ball there, ran into Zeleny and resulted in his third foul.
Chanel here on this trip could go to a double-digit lead. Looking to spread the floor. Zeleny with a nice pass on the inside to Lattice. It's no good. And Jason Thompson, who's had a nice steady game all night, lost the handle on that one. And it's going to go out of bounds back to St. Peter Chanel.
I've lost track of the number of trips that is down the floor where the Bearcats have not gotten a good look at the basket.
In fact, there's a lot of trips down the floor. They haven't even had a shot.
Right.
They've turned the ball over, and
11-2 and 11-2 run for start the half for Chanel, and they're kind of happy with the slow pace and slash to the bucket here and there, draw a foul.
Jason Thompson whistled for his third personal foul. Absolutely the opposite of the first half, where Chanel was called for 10 team fouls in about a quarter and a minute or two, and here already, only with 5 minutes gone, we have 5 fouls on Bedford. And at the line, it's Jamal Rippey with his first point of the night.
Joe Lattice lost the drawstring on his basketball shorts there, Andy. I hope hope that's not key as we go down the stretch in this ball game.
And Rippey buries the pair. Jamal now with 2, and it's 40-30. Chanel with a 10-point lead. Anthony Lumpkin. He's being hounded by Martin. Great pass on the inside. The bump, no call. Constant spins. Nice move, and Constant can't find the bucket. Here comes Chanel down the floor. Cross court, Rippey, Lattice on the inside, spins on Constant, off the glass and in. Joe Lattice with 13 and a 42-30 lead for Chanel.
15-2 now on the run for the Firebirds. Bearcats just flat out look tired to me, Andy. There's a good look.
That's a nice look from Anthony Lumpkin, his 4th of the night. 42-30. So you're right, they do seem to be fatigued. Here's the drive on the baseline, and he stepped down the line.
They just look like they're tired. Still trying to play tough defense, but not quite getting back fast enough, not getting into the offense, not real patient. Although you look at Everett Hurd, and he's just very relaxed. He knows the talent on this ball club and waiting for it to show through.
And Joe Lattice off now to the side, getting his drawers worked on. Down to 2 minutes to go in the period. Skylar Constant on the inside, the spin. Moore puts it up, no good. And a nice rebound by Rippey. Lob down the floor. Martin, no look pass, strip. Terrific play by Osby. Back down the other end. Constant lays it up and in.
There's a really good defensive sequence right there for Bedford.
42-34. Brick, but the follow no good. Offensive rebound. Spinorama no good. In the painted area. Loose on the floor. Big scramble. Chanel's got it. On the baseline. Constant gets hammered, and they draw the offensive foul.
I found that sequence right there, Andy, for Chanel to be really interesting. They're controlling the play here in the third quarter, yet they came down the floor, and I think it was Jamal Rippey hurried up a shot, and then we had the scramble there that went on for 15 or 20 seconds. But they really are controlling the action. You would have expected they would have tried to get in the offense and keep doing what they were doing. Got a little careless with the basketball, and Bedford now only behind by 8, and will have the basketball.
Now let's take a look at the Bedford schedule coming up for the boys and the Lake Erie League.
There's no question that Bedford plays a first-class schedule. Coming up Tuesday, December 6th, they have St. Vincent St. Mary here at Shipley Gymnasium. The 10th, they have the Shaw Firebirds here at Shipley Gymnasium to open LEL Erie Division play. They also have Glenville just before Christmas. They're going to play Euclid, who was always strong in the sectional district in this area. And, of course, they get Shaw again, Warrensville twice, Southview twice, and a big one in January, they're going to play Canton-McKinley.
Wow.
Defending Division I state champions, the Bearcats will have Canton-McKinley. Everett Hurd believes to have the best basketball players at tournament time, he needs to play a tough regular season schedule. He doesn't expect to go 20-0, but he expects to have his team ready come March.
You know, get them seasoned and prepared for that type of tournament. And those are really tournament preparation games when you play that type of a schedule. On the inside, here's a chance. Moore got stripped. Loose on the floor, out top now. Bedford gives to Osby. They need to be very patient here. It opens up and he's fouled. And they're going to call the foul. Looks to be on James Crockett for the push. Change that up. I'm sorry, Nick Russo with the foul.
Only the third team foul for the Firebirds here in the third quarter. Look at that Bernie Tarr here. He's working as hard as his players are on defense. He's feeling it right now, the Firebirds coach.
They had such a great swing of momentum to start the second half and constant drives. Oh, and he missed a good look. Another chance really got whacked. And this time it's got to be on James Crockett.
A lot of good inside looks for Bedford. The ball is just not going in the basket.
And this is a kid here who doesn't give up work, and Skylar Constant has been tough all night out there, and he's had very few breathers. Here's one here as he's going to shoot a free throw, but he's had a tough job of it tonight.
To get in the playoffs, the Bearcat football team needed a victory in Week 10 against the Garfield Heights Bulldogs, and they needed some help. But Skylar Constant that night had a couple of little, what I would say are major injuries, but for him, nagging injuries. Never came off the football field on offense and defense that night. This kid's a warrior. Works hard on both ends of the floor in basketball, and as we said, we'll play big-time college football.
Skylar looking to bury the pair on the iron and good. Skylar Constant, the first player for Bedford to double figures with 10, and it's 42-36. And this is a nice run here of 6 in a row by Bedford down the stretch here in quarter number 3. To the lane, the shot no good on the miss. Martin can't get it to go back the other way. Osby for Bedford. He drives, scores. Charles Osby with his 8th, and it's a 4-point ball game.
Charles Osby coast to coast there. Grabbed the basketball, took it all the way down the floor, and made a nice strong move to the basket.
Oh, nice save with the pass, the drive. We got a block. And it looks like it's going to go against
Brandon Smith, I believe.
Brandon, that should be his first personal foul of the ball game.
8-0, I believe, for the Bearcats right now at this point after that really strong start for the Firebirds at the beginning of the quarter. We're getting ready for a strap-it-on fourth quarter, I think, here at Shipley Gymnasium.
Well, again, the sellout crowd tonight here in Bedford getting their money's worth, no question about it. The first one is up and in. John White now with a 6-point for the ball game. See the Chanel cheerleaders a little dismayed right now. 43-38 for Chanel with 22 seconds to play in the third period. And the second of the pair is on the iron and good. White with 7. 44-38, 18 seconds to go, third period. Lumpkin around the left side. On the drive to the painted area, the shot, it's a good look and it falls. That's Brandon Smith with his first two. 44-40 from half court, no good. Buzzer and a three. And 3/4 in the books here. Shipley Jim, we're going to go to the fourth with Chanel leading Bedford 44-40. With Joe Alley here, the start of the fourth period. Chanel leading Bedford 44-40. And Joe, what's going to be the key down the stretch?
For me, I think, Andy, the key down the stretch is for the Bearcats to keep the defensive intensity up as it was the last 4 minutes of that quarter. For the Firebirds, they can't rush things. When they're very patient and they utilize Joe Lattice's size, kicking the ball inside, moving the ball around the perimeter, I think that's when they're best. They can't be unpatient. They have to be patient on offense, and those, I think, are the keys. The other thing is the Bearcats have to find a way to get Donzel Moore involved in the offense. He's been very quiet tonight, and he's the kind of guy that if he gets involved offensively, his defensive intensity will come up, and then good things will happen for the Bearcats. Good inside look there to Skylar Constant.
Skylar now with a dozen. It's 44-42. Just starting the fourth period. There's the steal. Osby comes up with the loose ball. Shuffles it off for the three ball. It's on the rim. No good. And Lattice can't pull down the board. This is Moore. He gets his pocket picked, but they regain the possession.
Charles Osby right now is really active for the Bearcats, and that's keeping balls alive.
Oh, good movement around the perimeter. Three ball by Osby. Short.
That was flat.
Yeah, that was definitely.
Which I think is a legs thing.
Legs.
You don't get your legs underneath you on the shot, you're going to shoot flat. And that was a good rotation on the basketball to get the ball to Charles, but then he came up short.
Back on the floor for Chanel is Alfred Wilson, number 24. Another turnover. This is boding well for Bedford now. They're working the defense, getting the ball back. Thompson, nice move over there, gives to Moore. Back to Thompson on the baseline. Stop, pops off the iron, no good. Constant battling there on the inside. And they're going to say it's last touch by Skylar Constant, and he was in there battling with Lattice big time.
I think he called a foul there. I think they called a foul.
Whoa!
On Skylar Constant, that'll be his fourth.
Must have got him for a push.
It'll be interesting to see Joe Lattice here down the stretch. The young man is starting to look a little bit tired to me.
Yeah.
He's played a lot of minutes. I think he was only out to get the drawstring fixed on the basketball shorts.
That's a big body to lumber up and down the court the way. And look at all the championships here in boys basketball.
And we're missing one because they won the Erie Division last season, 2005. You would think for all the success this team has had in the tournament, they win a lot of championships. But you got to remember that you got Shaw, Warrensville, and Southview in that division, and those are teams that perennially are ranked as well. The officials kind of talking about what the call was there on the other end of the floor.
And what it's going to be is a 1-and-1 for Joe Lattis. Checking back on the floor for St. Peter Chanel, Nick Russo, number 3. And Brandon Pitts returns for Bedford. Lattis with the first one, it's a brick. And we have a lane violation going to be called against Bedford. So we'll go back to the first shot once again.
Really interesting now to watch Joe Lattis on this gift free throw that he got for the lane violation there on Donzel Moore. That last throw to me said tired legs.
Oh, yeah.
And the last trip down the floor when he turned the ball over, it also looked to me that he's a fatigued young man.
A lot of these kids, again, very few of them have had a breather tonight. There's the first of the 1-and-1. He missed them both. And Jason Thompson pulls down the rebound. Chance for Bedford to tie. 6:43 left in regulation play. 44-42 for Chanel. Donzel Moore on the baseline. 10 feet out. Spins, shoots, iron, no good. Batted back to the Bedford bench, and they're going to keep possession. John White. Oh, boy, we're right on the money tonight. We're doing stereo. He's in for Chanel. We work together like we do, Joe, so rarely, but we're right on. It's unbelievable how we're thinking the same thing.
I have to remember who the pro is here. I'm the amateur. I got to let you do your job.
No, I doubt that. Here comes Chanel with a strip of the ball. The layup is in. That's Steve Martin with his 13th point of the ball game.
Young man Steve Martin runs the floor very, very well.
46-42 Chanel, driving the baseline's no good. And the rebound is taken down by Crockett. They're going to call a walk. So Alfred Wilson getting a little cutesy there, taking the steps.
All those layups coming up short for Bedford. It just, it seems like we're talking about it just a little bit too much, but it feels just like they're just a little bit tired. And when you play defense with the intensity they do, second night in a row, that can happen.
Well, a three-point possibility for Jason Thompson as he hits. That's 8 for Jason. And the foul is going to go against 2 for St. Peter Chanel. They're going to put up on the board number 14, James Crockett with his 3rd, team 5th. And there's a look at Jason Thompson. Chance to get Bedford back to within 1. And he does.
Coach Tarr, we didn't comment on it, using the opportunity with Skylar Constant with 4 fouls to get Joe Lattis down and get those legs a little bit of a rest. So everybody's small now. Both teams going small here, right here.
46-45, good pressure again into the rectangle. The spin, no good. Loose ball going to be pulled down out of bounds. Should be Bedford ball, last touched by Martin.
Donzel Moore going to key it for the Bearcats here. As we mentioned earlier, Donzel Moore, Division II first team All-State as well in football. Quarterback, defensive back, also returned punts for the Bearcats.
He's on the inside now, works the reverse layup, no good. The rebound goes down to Crockett. Schnell into the forecourt. Russo running quickly, kicked out of bounds. Bedford ball. Now we'll have a meeting of the minds. Chanel ball.
Looked to me like Nick Russo, they're a little afraid of the Bearcat defense. He had a clear path to the basket and kind of went outside with the basketball.
Well, he's got it now in the circle. Up on the left wing, Martin holds, working against Thompson. 5 minutes left, 1 point Chanel lead. Martin had a great night tonight for St. Peter Chanel. Over off to the top of the key. Inside over the play, and they're going to call over the back on Donzel Moore. That'll be his 3rd. Team 8th and a 1-and-1 for Chanel. Well, he went for the steal, and we'll watch here. It's just a clear over the back.
Looked like a pretty good defensive play to me, but I don't have a striped shirt.
Yeah, you got him with the shoulder a little bit, Joe. 46-45. James Crockett for the 1-and-1. Missed it. Boy, everybody missed the free throws tonight. They get the offensive rebound and they score. Big bucket by Steve Martin. It's 15 for Steve, and it's 48-45 Chanel. Thompson gave it up on the inside. Stripped away and stolen back by Pitts. On the glass and in.
Charles Osby, the real offensive threat right now for the Bearcats.
10 for Osby, 48-47. Oh, kicked and they call a walk, and now the Bedford crowd getting into it. That's the loudest they've been tonight, Joe.
I was going to make that comment. The Bedford crowd expecting great things from this basketball team has been a little bit on their hands tonight. Versus the Chanel crowd, the Chanel students haven't sat the whole ball game.
No, they haven't. That whole section has been on their feet.
Bernie's crew.
Again, these schools separated just by feet.
Northfield Road, the Avenue of Champions, sits between St. Peter Chanel and Bedford High School.
I think I said Warrensville Center before, and I'm all confused.
Before last year was 40 years between games. Now we hope an annual event.
Well, this one is a dandy. I don't know how you could give it up after this year. There's Lumpkin on the drive, and he's fouled. Anthony Lumpkin's going to shoot two with a chance to give Bedford the lead at the 4-minute mark.
And that brings Joe Lattis up off his chair, and he'll come back into the lineup for the Firebirds.
Crockett in foul trouble now. The first one by Lumpkin is good. He's got 5 for the night. 48-48, and you're right. Here comes Big Joe Lattis. And Big Joe returns with 13 points and only 1 foul on the night.
Bearcats now up by 1. That's a 19-6 run from when it was 42-40 in favor of the Firebirds. So they're all the way back with a big run from about 3 minutes left in the third to this point in the fourth quarter.
Long cross-court pass, and Schnell wants a timeout. 3:46 left in regulation play, and Bedford leading the Chanel Firebirds by a score of 49-48. Tell you again, more exciting sports action coming up on BCS TV this year. You can check out Channel 23.
I thank you.
And our good friend running the security tonight, I'll tell you what.
Taking care
you bet.
of the BCS TV Cable 9 crew this evening.
And doing a super job. I'll tell you what, nobody got in this place tonight that didn't belong.
Lady Bearcats, while we have a minute, the Lady Bearcats also face the same tough conference schedule. Their goal, stated goal by Pat Griffiths, is I don't care what the record is. I want the Lake Erie League Erie Division flag hanging in the halls of Bedford High School this year. To do that, he's got to go through two-time defending champion, the Warrensville Heights Tigers. Got to play them twice. Got to play the Shaw Cardinals twice. Got to play the Garfield Bulldogs twice. And got to play the Southview Saints twice. Tough road for Pat Griffiths, but he's got him off to a good 2-0 start.
Hit a big 99-60 victory over Shaw. Pat Griffiths from my neck of the woods out in Middlefield, Ohio.
Shaw, their first division game, and a big victory there for the Bearcats.
Well, Chanel, after the timeout, inbounding in the forecourt, trailing by 1. Joe Lattis, the big man's back on the floor. Seems like when he's been out there and they threw that ball out the back door, it was intended for Rippey. And Rippey, the young man talked about, highly touted, only has 2 points, both at the charity stripe tonight.
Tight man-to-man defense there on Eric Zeleny resulted in the errant pass and the ball back in favor of the Bearcats.
1-point lead on the drive, Constant underneath. And it's on the baseline, goes back to Chanel. And that time they had a good look, but Big Joe underneath the backboard.
As you mentioned, the vertical leap is not big, but it doesn't need to be when you're 6'11".
3-ball up and in by Jamal Rippey.
You mentioned him, and he answered.
First field goal of the night gives Chanel a 51-49 lead. And we got a foul on the Firebirds. Nice smooth touch.
3-ball good there by Rippey. We mentioned, one field goal, but then, or 2 free throws, but then hits the big 3-point bomb. Charles Osby again, key in the offense right now for the Bearcats, will shoot 1-1.
Can't get it to go. Constant can't get the rebound, pulled down by Lattice. We're down to the 3-minute mark. 2-point Chanel lead, looking for more, and they hit it! Eric Zeleny with a 5, and it's 54-49 Chanel. Just like that, a 6-0 run for the Firebirds. On the drive, shot off the top of the backboard. Ripped down, and then we're going to have a foul. And it's going to go against Joe Lattice.
He called that, I think, an intentional foul.
And he's not too happy about it. Here's the 3-ball a minute ago by Zeleny. And it'll be 2 free throws in the ball for the Bearcats. Brandon Pitts, 4 for the game, and it's totally deafening in here. The first shot, no good. Second one for Pitts. Gets it. Brandon Pitts with his 5th point. 54-50. St. Peter Chanel by 4.
Nice team effort by the Firebirds there. Joe Lattice was pretty upset with the intentional foul call, but his teammates got him away from the official, got him calmed down. Nice work, teamwork there by the Firebirds.
And Skylar Constant can't get it. The ball tipped out of bounds by Bedford. It'll go back to Chanel. You're right. In fact, he even heard an earful over there from Bernie Tarr, who really got in Lattice's face to settle him down. Into the forecourt. Thompson. They call a turnover. Chanel fans wanted a foul, but the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Firebirds. And here it is right here. They thought that the bump Thompson did there caused the turnover. No call. And Jason holds the ball at the line. Driving is Lumpkin. Out top the 3-point circle. Thompson spins, shoots. He's fouled and he scores. Jason Thompson with his 11th brings Bedford back to within 54-52.
Jason been kind of quiet today, but they're a good move. Got the good roll on the rim. It fell in, and a chance to cut the lead to 1 right here.
Jamal Rippey called for his 3rd foul. Thompson scores his 12th of the ball game at 54-53. Chanel by 1. And a foul is going to be called, a terrific call, going to go against Lumpkin, as he really gave one of those proverbial hip checks to Joe Lattice.
I'm not sure who ended up the worst for the wear on that one, though.
They both took a beating.
Lattice to shoot 1 and 1. For both teams, the next foul will be the double bonus.
Boy, what a great finish coming up here from Bedford High School. Lattice gets the first one.
Got his legs into that shot. A really nice free throw right there.
That's 14 for Joe Lattice. 55-53 Chanel. Great tip-off to the 05-06 basketball season as Lattice swishes the pair. 56-53 at the 2-minute mark. Chanel by 3. And Bedford's got to be real careful, take a high percentage shot. Thompson spins and there's a hold.
I think it'll be on Zeleny. No, it looks like Rippey.
And that would be 4 fouls on Rippey.
Thompson to shoot 2 now. The Bearcats on the double bonus, as we mentioned.
Trying to get Bedford to back to within 1, and he rims it out. Again, the Bearcats had a tough 56-40 win over Rush. And that was last night, and this one is tough to get the back-to-back, and he hits it. Thompson's got 13. He scored 7 here in the 4th period. 56-54 Chanel. Firebird's going to run a little clock. Bedford all over the ball defensively. Lattice at the free throw line. They're giving him the whole floor. We got a whistle and a foul away from the ball. 1:29 left on the clock. And it's 2 free throws coming up for the Firebirds. Anthony Lumpkin, Joe whistled for his 3rd personal foul.
Zeleny to shoot the 2 free throws for the Firebirds. Good offensive strategy there by Coach Tarr. Make them foul us.
Zeleny with his 6th point of the ball game. And there's a timeout on the floor with 89 seconds left in regulation time. The score is Chanel 57, Bedford 54.
Everything we wanted and more. While it's a little bit not exactly what you would call a masterpiece painting in terms of the skills involved here tonight and the way they're controlling the basketball. Excitement, everything you wanted in opening a home opener, especially for 2 schools located just across the street from one another.
Well, it would be sweet revenge for Chanel, who came into this building last year, Joe, and just got blown out of this place. And tonight they come into the ball game a slight underdog, but they've done really well. And I'll tell you what, Joe Lattice has had a game of it tonight on the inside for the Firebirds.
Yes, he has. He's been the difference maker. The other thing that I'm sure, if the Bearcats end up losing this ball game, Coach Hurd will stress to the ball club, free throws.
Yeah.
Free throws. If they made their free throws, it could be a totally different ball game.
Well, again, we don't like to make excuses, but I know you'll talk to anybody who's played the game. Back-to-back nights are tough no matter what level you play at. As Chanel has got the fresher legs here because this is their opening game of the season, where again the Bearcats coming off a tough game at Rush last night. But nonetheless, you're on your home floor. You got to give it all you got tonight against a big rival here in the neighborhood, playing for the Avenue of Champions trophy. And the second is up and in. Eric Zeleny with 7. It's a 4-point Chanel lead. As Osby brings it into the forecourt, gives to Donzel Moore. Moore has to pick up the dribble, gives it back to Osby. Moore now on the left. And we have a whistle and a foul on the inside.
Foul away from the ball.
And I think what they're looking at is possibly Steve Marsh. That's his 4th. And Jason Thompson will get 2 more free throws. 13 points for the night. He needs to hit both. And he puts one off the front of the rim. And the second is good. So Thompson splits another pair of free throws. 1 possession ball game, 58-55. Bedford going with the press. We have a foul called. And that's going to be the case. A backcourt foul, nonetheless. 2 shots for Chanel. They were close to a 10-second call.
I was going to say, Coach Hurd, I don't think is real happy here because I think the trapping defense, Chanel was very, very close to a 10-second call. The foul not really necessary right there.
And it went on Brandon Pitts at the line. John White, 7 for the ball game. 67 seconds left. Missed it. He'll get one more. He can hit. It'll be a 2-possession ball game for the Chanel Firebirds with the lead. Second one, and he got it. White splits the pair, 8 for John, and it's 59-55. Comes Bedford now into the forecourt. Osby off on the right wing. He'll drive. There's a foul, and it's going to be before the shot. Nonetheless, it's 2 shots.
Good strategy right now offensively for Bedford. They know they need points without taking a lot of time off the clock because Chanel's strategy when they have the ball is going to be to freeze it. So take the ball inside, hope to draw the foul, score points without the clock running.
Joe Lattis called for his 4th personal foul, but they missed the free throw.
Got to make the free throw. The only problem is you got to make the free throw.
Yeah, you can't go 50% here. You're going to fall behind. If they can hit, it will still be a 1-possession ball game at 59-55 right now. They need to make this one. And they missed the boat. And the rebound is Steve Martin in the backcourt. Chanel going to run a little bit of clock into the forecourt. Thompson comes up on defense. 50 seconds to go. Lattis, baseline, drive, missed it. Offensive rebound, no good, and a foul, and Lattis is down on the floor hurt.
Looks like the call is going to go on Charles Osby.
Going to the line for Chanel will be John White. 46 seconds left. You see the score, 59-59 for St. Peter. 59-55 for St. Peter Chanel.
Chance to make it a tough road to hoe for the Bearcats.
That makes it a 5-point ball game. John White with 9, and actually some of the Bedford fans heading for the exits already. They've seen enough. And Osby back on the floor now after he comes back from the bench. With this big crowd tonight, it'll be some tough sledding getting out of here quickly. Probably trying to get some good seats at some of the area restaurants before the crowd gets out. The second of the pair is up and in. White with 10. 61-55, 40 seconds. 3 ball is on the way, no good. Rebound on to Martin. Into the forecourt. On the baseline, around the rim and in for Jamal Rippey. 7 for Rippey, and it's an 8-point Chanel lead. Bomb ball back the other way, no good. Firebirds have the rebound. They got this one solid now with an 8-point lead.
Bearcats got down by 6 points and lost their patience. Came down, fired up the 3 ball, and then didn't get back on defense.
Oh, Joe, you have a player of the game in mind?
I think the only choice is the big guy.
Joe Lattis.
Joe Lattis.
We'll try to get Big Joe here to the table. We have a whistle to stop play.
You agree, Joe Lattis?
I think so. I think an honorable mention is Steve Martin, who finished tonight with 15. Steve came up with a couple of big dunks that really got the momentum back in the favor of the Chanel Firebirds. And you see a very animated Bernie Tarr over on the bench.
We talked about a lot of runs. The biggest is the 15-6 Chanel has had since Bedford went ahead by a point at 49-48.
Now this game was 13-10 for Chanel at the quarter. Bedford led at the half 28-27. And Chanel at 44-40 after 3, and here they're going to hang on. They're going to come up with the victory here tonight and avenge last year's blowout versus the Bedford Bearcats. And 22 seconds left on the clock. The second of the pair is up and in by Zeleny. He's got 8 for the night. 64-55 Chanel. And the 3 ball is on the way. It's missed by Pitts. Chanel has the rebound. 13 seconds to play in the game. Zeleny's going to dribble, puts it into the forecourt. 6 seconds left. Exclamation point. Steve Martin with 17. And the clock runs out. 66-55. Firebirds win by 11. And we'll stay here, though, to wrap things up as the Chanel Firebirds come in here with a tremendous victory, Joe Alley. An 11-point game, but it was about a 4-point game with a minute left. And Chanel really took advantage down the stretch, I think, of what really hurt Bedford was the tired legs.
Well, I think that was a